New hat because it's a new video and I'm about to milk everything out of this event. Every single possible click I can get, every single possible view, every comment, every like, I'm about to milk everything from this event because this event was huge. The outcomes were not as we expected, apart from the KSI and Tommy Fury fight. Last night I made some videos on them. They did pretty well because I literally ran straight upstairs after I watched the fights, recorded and posted whilst the other fight was live. So yeah, maybe we'll start doing that a little bit more. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit more about the fights today. I want to kind of, basically anyone who didn't watch it, I want them to be completely up to date with it. And I want to know exactly what's going on. And we're going to start off with the Logan Paul and Dillon Danis fight. Okay, so starting with Dillon Danis and Logan Paul fight. If you don't know already, Logan Paul won. To be honest, it was expected. Logan Paul's the bigger guy. He's the better boxer. And overall, I think he was a lot more professional. I just want to play a quick little clip to you guys about basically how Logan Paul dealt with all of like the bullshit that Dillon Danis was throwing at him. It was really like, you wouldn't expect it. And when they put it out on the live stream, I was really shocked to hear it. Because with Dillon Danis saying everything about Logan Paul's fiance, you're expecting this man to have his blood pressure at the limit. He's pissed off. He's ready to kill going in that ring. But what he said is going to shock everyone. So if you just quickly watch that clip.
Of a zen moment last night. Because he has made it so personal. And how do you not go in there wanting to murder this human being? And the answer is, I forgive him. I forgive Dillon. I'm just going to go in there, do my job, stay focused, do what I have to do tonight. I know what I'm good at. I know my skills. I know how I'm going to beat him. And I'm going to go in there not wanting to be aggressive and fight with ego. I'm going to fight with skill and precision.
So yeah, as you saw from that clip, Logan Paul, I forgive you. Dillon Danis, I forgive you. It's very weird to see that because it's not what you'd expect at all. It was a very kind of zen moment from Logan Paul. I think it was actually the right call as well. And Logan Paul did end up saying towards the end of the fight, which I will play the highlights, or the important highlights at least, because the fight wasn't really anything special. He said at the end of the fight that, you know, it was the only way to not go in without putting emotion behind it, which is completely fair. I mean, you've got to put some sort of emotion behind that, especially with everything. If that's your fiance, you want to go in that ring killing, but obviously you can't do that. You have to go in stoic mindset, no emotion, just no reaction either. Just do what you need to do. Anyway, I'm gonna play just some kind of highlights so you guys get a rough idea of how the fight went.
Haymakers for the orange green.
So yeah, basically, as we expected, Logan Paul he didn't even have to do anything. It's just jabs and straights, nothing else. Like maybe sometimes he'd throw a hook. Dillon Danis literally just stood there the whole fight doing that. I could have fucking done it. Like, it's not special. I think what Dillon Danis wanted to do was kind of win the crowd over by like making a joke and whatnot. But it just didn't work. And I think that was kind of the point where, you know, the coin was flipped and everyone wanted to like Logan Paul to win there. We wanted Dillon Danis to get knocked out by the end of it because he was just not performing in any way a fighter should ever perform. You know, the shit talking is necessary to sell the fight, but actually having a good fight and presenting a good fight is even more important. And I think as soon as Dillon Danis realized I'm not going to win against Logan Paul, he just thought, going to sell as many tickets as I can, and then I'm just going to go in there and make sure I don't get knocked out, which is the most boring strategy you could ever think of. But you know, he didn't get knocked out. He didn't give Logan Paul what he wanted. But at the end of the day, I don't think Logan Paul was that actually interested in knocking him out. I think he just kind of wanted to win. So yeah, I'm just going to play some quick clips for you guys, just showing like what Dillon Danis kind of tried to do. It's really kind of cringe, to be honest. But yeah, just take a look. So yeah, as you can see, Dillon Danis kind of like trying to, you know, get Logan Paul to do some jiu-jitsu, bit of wrestling or quirky stuff towards the end of the fight, pushing up against Logan Paul, trying to grab him. It's just so weird, man. And it's weird how he lost his composure at the end. Like, with all of the trolling, you'd expect Dillon Danis to just kind of walk off and be like, whatever. But he actually lost his composure, and I think it was at that point where Logan Paul just he won the fight basically. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of just what happened with the fight. Nothing special. Logan Paul won, obviously. I'll play the clip now of him winning.
Fight. I want something! Let's go! Because these past 2 months have not been easy. Sometimes the devil will make his way into your life. He will try to break you down spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally.
And yeah, Logan Paul just kind of had it was a very, very dramatic speech at the end. It was a little bit too much, but you know what? I think he said what he wanted to say in the moment. If he could go back and kind of, you know, change some things, maybe he would, but he was just saying what he wanted to say in the moment. And I think that's fair enough, really. It was a little bit too much, but you do you, man. So I forgot to mention at the start, the funniest thing, when they were playing the American anthem at the start, because obviously they're both American fighters, so they're going to play the anthem, the whole crowd just starts booing. And I don't know who they got to sing the song, but the singing was, you know, a little bit dodgy. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to add that because it's just so funny. Anyway, we'll move on now to KSI and Tommy Fury. Okay, so starting the fight, KSI came in and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Extreme confidence, came in with his weird karate stance, bouncing around, full of energy, going in, getting some quick hits on Tommy, coming out, and we did see his weird movement as well, literally within the first 3 seconds. I'm going to play the highlights for you guys in a moment, where he bounced in, he got his hit, and he quickly switched under Tommy's arm, which I think is, you know, he was playing his plan well, and it did take Tommy Fury, you know, a hot minute to kind of figure out KSI. So for the first 3 rounds, they were given to KSI, which I think was completely fair. But yeah, let's just play some highlights for you guys real quick.
To do it. Oh, he doesn't want to box Tommy Fury. Jake needs to wait for that. In this fight that we saw over 5 rounds, 6 rounds.
We're getting a glimpse of that right now. And this effective.
A good idea.
Tommy.
Now, don't get me wrong, they got caught in a lot of clinches. It was almost every 2 seconds at one point, which was very painful. And I think both of them were kind of initiating it. KSI was definitely getting, you know, a lot of his points from the clinches. He was getting a lot of nice hits off on Tommy Fury. And I think KSI definitely been practicing inside of the clinch. Obviously, Tommy Fury being so big, he did kind of manage to get his counter hits off, kind of defend himself a bit more. So, you know, the clinches were painful. They were really not fun. And a lot of KSI's tactics were just going in, getting a shot, and then getting in the clinch quickly so Tommy Fury couldn't get the attack, which is a little bit cringe. It's very similar to what Anthony Taylor was doing. If you guys saw that fight, I don't really want to get into it. It was just not a nice fight to watch. It was really boring, actually. So yeah, KSI, I'm going to say he definitely got the first 3 rounds. And during those rounds, Tommy Fury kept on hitting him on the back of the head. It was on purpose as well. I don't know why Tommy Fury was trying to do this. It was just a little bit strange. Maybe he thought he could get away with it. Maybe he thought he could try to, you know, he could kind of slowly break down KSI mentally, get rid of that confidence, and then he can actually win the fight. It was just weird to see a professional boxer trying to almost cheat their way through a YouTuber boxing match. It's just strange. Anyway, he got 1 point deducted for that. I think that was very lenient. I think he got a bit lucky there. And I think that was to make sure that they didn't end up drawing, because if he'd had the 2 points deducted, which I think was fair there, because he was doing a lot of damage to the back of KSI's head. If you guys aren't really into your boxing and you don't box, then you don't really realize how bad like a hit to the back of the head is. It's not fun. It can actually knock you out as well if you're not careful. It can really daze you. It's not fun. And with KSI having all of his hair at the back of his head, it's only going to add more damage, which just isn't nice. So I think he should have had 2 points deducted for that. But you know, it is what it is. He ended up winning by 1 point, which is, you know, it's debatable. It's a bit strange. Obviously, don't get me wrong, Tommy Fury had those last 3 rounds easily. As soon as it hit round 4, he'd figured out KSI. He'd had a good talk with Johnny, and they'd kind of figured out the good game plan there on how they were going to kind of break down KSI. And I think this might be why KSI didn't want to take the 8 rounds, because he realized that his stance only really works for the 6 rounders. And as soon as you go out to 8 rounds, that's where Tommy Fury starts to come back. He starts to realize that, you know, he's going to be coming in, so he needs to switch around, he needs to pivot, and then he's going to get his lefts off. So he kind of realized that towards the end. Obviously, by the time it's round 5, all he can really do is get a knockout, and then that's going to really assure that he's won. Anyway, at the end, Tommy Fury gets a bit emotional with a speech. I'll play that for you guys now.
I couldn't use my right hand for 6 weeks, and I'm not an excuse maker. I couldn't use my hand for 6 weeks, and the reason why I'm so emotional is because I'm changing my family's life. Fight by fight, I'm changing my little daughter's life.
So yeah, Tommy Fury has his little moment, and then KSI wants to talk, and what KSI says, I think is completely valid. Completely valid.
I'm the YouTuber and you're the boxer. You have to win. I understand. It's all good.
So KSI, he says, you know what? I understand. You know, I'm the YouTuber. You're the boxer. The boxer has to win. And it's true, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to a money event. And if you have a professional boxer sat at the top and you get all these YouTubers trying to beat the professional boxer and be the top boxer, it's going to be a never-ending event. Everyone's going to want to see Tommy Fury fall at some point. Everyone's going to want to see KSI getting his revenge. And it's just going to hype up all of this money more and more and more. If Tommy Fury had lost tonight and KSI was at the top, then there'd be no Jake Paul fight. Logan Paul, I don't know who he'd be fighting next. I don't even know who Logan Paul's going to be fighting next. I will be talking about what I think is going to be happening next after the fights very soon. But I just want to add a couple more points.
We're gonna appeal. I want to appeal, bro. I'm sorry. That is outrageous.
So KSI did also say that he's going to be getting it appealed, which I think, you know, it's a wise decision. It's a fair decision. But considering how close the fight was as well, I mean, like, it's just fair that he's going to get it appealed. Whether it'll come out in his way, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think so. Especially with, you know, how the event's set up. And also just like, I think Tommy Fury did pick up towards the end. And I think, you know, he did almost clear the distance. But, you know, having those points taken away, I think it should have been 2 points. And I think, you know, the referee was a little bit lenient there towards the pro boxer. But at the end of the day, what can you do? KSI lost, Tommy Fury won, is what it is. So what do I think is going to happen after everything? So, you know, we've now had Dillon Danis fighting Logan Paul. That beef is over. Logan Paul will never get in the ring with that man ever again. He has no reason to whatsoever. Like, just smashed up Dillon Danis' face, and he didn't even try. He didn't have to actually work at all. And KSI, Tommy Fury. Maybe there'll be a rematch. Who knows? Most likely not. I think Tommy Fury is pretty much done now. He did call out the Paul brothers. I'm going to play the clip of that now.
I'm done with all this shit, all this crossover shit. I'm not a part of that. I'm here to fight, and we go on to the next challenge now. Fuck the bullshit, on to the next challenge. Any of the Pauls want it, I welcome with open arms. Let's get it on, because guess what? Manchester, we can't be defeated!
It was very contradictory. I don't really know what he was talking about there, because he started saying, oh, I'm done with the bullshit. I'm back to professional boxers now. And then he said, if any of the Paul brothers want to fight, I'm welcome with open arms. So I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a rematch. Most likely not. I think KSI is probably going to get appealed and it will just come out to maybe a draw at best. But I don't think we're going to see that, to be honest. And yeah, Dillon Danis will not be attending any more events after that terrible performance. Just a troll and a bit of a fucking loser, actually, as well. I mean, you know, it's just weird. And I think Logan Paul, he's going to go back to his wrestling. I don't know if he'll come back to the boxing scene unless it's just for like a bit of fun, just to piss about, maybe. And you know what? I think we may see a Jake Paul KSI fight soon-ish. Maybe within the next year or two, I think that fight will be coming up. When that fight is announced, if it does happen, it will be like a whole year away, because they're both going to want to train to kind of prove themselves to be the best boxers. Now, with this, you know, fight maybe happening, I really think it's going to be a balanced fight now, because Jake Paul, obviously, he's had more experience fighting, you know, boxers. But after his performance against Tommy Fury, where he lost to Tommy Fury by quite a bit, and KSI being so close, it's kind of hard to weigh out. It's hard to figure out who's actually going to be the dominant fighter in that fight. So at the end of the day, fingers crossed we get to see that fight. Will we ever see it? Who knows? Because everyone knows that's probably going to be the biggest YouTuber fight. And as soon as that fight's kind of happened, it's almost over. Unless they want to have like some plot twist where, you know, KSI beats Jake Paul and then Logan Paul gets annoyed about it and he challenges KSI again. And then we have like this kind of whole loop and it just goes on again and again and again until eventually it's just a never ending kind of metaverse of boxers, and they end up getting like Spider-Man and Batman in there and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to kind of clear the air for everyone who doesn't really know what's going on with the fights, or just interested to see other people's opinions. That's my opinion, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. That's about it. See ya.
Rep.